Coming up on KREM 2 News at noon, Republican Michael Baumgartner and Democrat Carmela Conway look to fill Kathy McMorris Rodgers' seat in Congress. This afternoon, we hear from both candidates about their stances on abortion.
And our weather conditions are much calmer today and should stay dry for the rest of this week, but we are still tracking when we could see some foggy mornings.
And KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones has some last-minute reminders on how to register to vote in Washington State. Hi, everyone. It is so good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. And it is, of course, Election Day. And this afternoon, meteorologist Thomas Patrick is tracking today's weather. So, Thomas, you can let people know whether they're headed to the polls in Washington or in Idaho. What can they expect when they step outside?
Yeah, if you're outside, if you're still in the shade, it's probably still going to feel a little bit cool, but the sunshine much nicer overall. It's actually a complete change from when I dropped off my ballot on this past Friday, where it was completely raining and soaking wet on that day. It is much, much better out there for today. In fact, in Spokane, we've gotten up to 46 degrees. That'll be pretty close to what our high temperature will be. Of course, it is November, so I'm not expecting it to be a whole lot warmer than that today, but the sunshine is pretty nice out there because you can still see a little bit of the cloud cover just hanging on over North Idaho for today. So where it is a little bit more cloudy, it will be a little bit cooler overall, especially off to the east. Otherwise, no threat for any rain anytime soon, not just today, but really for the rest of the week. With the clear skies intact for today and tonight, it does mean we are in for a cold evening. So by tomorrow morning, low temperatures will be dipping down into the 20s with a chance of fog because, well, we did have that rain yesterday. So we're just monitoring if that will materialize by tomorrow morning. Otherwise, fairly calm conditions and certainly not as windy for at least a handful of days.
All right, my friend, thank you. And today we are tracking about a dozen races and initiatives across both Washington and Idaho. One of those key races is, of course, Washington's 5th Congressional District race. That's between Republican Michael Baumgartner and Democrat Carmela Conway. So the district spans the entire eastern part of the state, including Spokane and Whitman counties. They are both vying to fill Kathy McMorris Rodgers' seat after she announced back in February she would not be seeking re-election. During a KREM 2 debate, both candidates highlighted different priorities from voting to abortion rights.
Abortion isn't mentioned in the Constitution, and as such, it's an issue for the states. So I don't plan on when I go to Congress of being particularly active in the abortion discussions because that's better dealt with at the local and state level.
I think that it is disingenuous for my opponent to say that he just wouldn't vote if the issue came up before the Congress. He's never trained as a lawyer. Powers that are not given to the federal government or to the state government are reserved to the people themselves.
All right, moving now on to one district to the west now. Two Republicans are looking to be the representative for Washington's 4th district seat. Dan Newhouse currently holds the seat, and he is facing competition from Navy veteran Jared Sessler. The 4th district spans from Okanagan County on the Canadian border to Benton and Klickitat counties on the border with Oregon. Yakima and the Tri-Cities also fall within that district. And election workers in Washington have been processing ballots for several days now. And even with a mail-in system, there is still a chance to get your vote in at the last minute. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones tells us how to get registered when your ballot is due.
Well, if you haven't done so yet, you'll have until 8 p.m. today for in-person registration. However, the Spokane County Elections Office is asking that if you are doing same-day registration, you do so at one of their voter service centers. Today, both the EW Catalyst Building and Center Place Regional Event Center in Spokane Valley will be open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. At these same locations, you can drop off your ballots in person, and election staff will be available to answer any questions. Both locations also have plenty of parking. Moving on, ballot drop box locations will officially close exactly at 8 p.m. tonight. You cannot drop off your ballot any later than that time. If you need help finding the closest one near you, you can find that information on the county elections website. Mailed-in ballots must also be postmarked by today, November 5th, 2024. And with time running out, the earlier you can get that ballot dropped off today, the better it is for the Spokane County Elections Office. But for now, reporting here in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
All right, that's talking about Washington. Moving over now to Idaho, where polls are open. They will close at 8 o'clock tonight. It's important to note that voters should or should not, what you should or should not bring to the polling place. Make sure you know where your polling place is to begin with. And if you don't know where yours is, just visit voteidaho.gov and click on the voting menu and select where to vote. Also, make sure to bring a photo ID, such as a passport or a driver's license. And if you don't have an ID, you can sign a sworn statement of identity. If you're not registered to vote yet, you can register at your polling place today. Just make sure to bring a proof of address, say like a bank statement, utility bill, or pay stub. Idaho is one of 21 states that have restrictions on what you can wear to the polls, so make sure you do not have clothing with any political messages, including buttons or pins. Idaho also does not allow people to campaign for candidates or initiatives within 250 feet of the entrance to a polling place. All right, so where to be tonight? Of course, to get all your information tonight, there will be no KREM 2 News at 4, 5, or 6. You can start at 8 p.m. You can watch our election coverage stream on KREM 2 Plus. There you can stay up to date with election results. KREM 2 Plus is free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. And again, we'll keep you updated as those returns begin coming in. All right, after a warm winter last year, we are anticipating more snow this year. At 12:15, Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo giving us this year's long-range winter forecast.